Bill, soul of Jim Crow, proud to live and vote as a Strom Thurmond clone. If he tried to kiss your daughter with a camera rolling, he'll try more than kissing her alone. Cozy up with Jill for a photo like a portrait of the Kissingers at home. You know I hate to kill the messenger, but if he's gotta go, we can FaceTime. Slit his throat while he stares into the phone. Like if you don't know, kitten, now you know. This is where austerity has gotten us. This is all that palpable excitement for a 20-year wait, unforgiveness for your student loans. But a distraction's a distraction, and it's time to see some action. So here's one last song for Joe. Before I try to keep his name out of the lyrics in my phone, try to shift the focus to our senators and everyone in Congress who is all too happy to be hidden while we're wasted to the bone. It is not food insecure, it's starvation, and it lurks in almost half the country's homes. So if you plan to lay down, hold your nose and vote for Joe, have the guts to admit that you chose to submit and that you decided lending your support to a pedophile must be a step towards hope. That a vote for a man that spent his whole life implementing laws that dehumanized people of color is a vote against fascism. When you know damn well he's just a kinder, dumber face on the same white nationalism. So baby, throw away your scruples with the memories of your activism. Watch your weak resistance.
I always forget
usher in
Rokfin.
a fucking cataclysm. Elect a bigot war pig and say you're gonna push him into pacifism. That's some bootlicker Stockholm hostage liberal masochism. Bootlicker Stockholm hostage liberal masochism.
Way to go,
Maybe
Warren.
that's some fucking bootlicker Stockholm hostage liberal masochism. God, that's some fucking bootlicker Stockholm hostage liberal masochism. That's some fucking bootlicker Stockholm hostage liberal masochism.
Oh.
That's some fucking
Legend says that Hercules swept Cerberus right off his feet and effortlessly
I hate
set him
talking about
down
myself.
softly as a songbird. Atlas kept the world upon his back and every day wondered whether he could
Hi, everybody
stand
that can
it any
hear
longer.
me.
Tara Reid came
I'm
out
glad I
to
didn't say
the
anything
man they tried to
embarrassing. Did I
label
say
the
anything?
Messiah of
I don't think so.
morality was
Other
really
than talking
just
about
another
how I'm all
brainless.
snotty.
And I don't intend to hesitate when asked who was the stronger. Tara, like Assange, knew that carrying the truth would be
Damn
the
you,
hardest
Reef.
labor. Tara knew that her assailant wasn't gonna make us any safer. And knew he's
I don't
just
care,
the
let's do
type
it.
of
I'm
man to
ready.
hand a decent foreign leader US printed walking papers. And knew he'd be relentless and aggressive in the war he'd wage upon her very character. That his attempts to weaken and degrade and embarrass her would be her only compensation. But I strongly doubt that anyone could ever have foreseen the stream of hate that came from quote-unquote progressives and the self-styled titans of survivor advocation. So if you really think there's something
Thanks,
to be gained out of
Bacon.
sharing your pain with
Love
the
you,
world,
Bacon.
you are sorely mistaken. The Biden team just dragged their feet addressing Tara's allegations. Until they had a decent list of smears, then they aired them out on every station. And it turns out no one wants to hear the truth of who they praised as being worthy of such bloated liberal celebration. That no one wants to really know the person they've so valiantly defended, even when it meant they had to gloat and shit all over someone braver than they'd be if given the occasion. Now cue the faceless comment squad invasion. Cue those fuckers crawling out the woodwork to come analyze the way you wore your hair and what you wear. Like your appearance waives your rights, or that somehow you're the reason for your situation. Somehow they've decided you should bear responsibility for what such monstrous men insist on doing. Somehow they're deluded by the empty, hypocritical, and useless fucking platitudes that bastard keeps on spewing. And I think it's very telling that the best of their excuses when they try to come and justify our president's abuses is a hearty butt Trump. In which case I'll remind you that you never saw the news attempt to sell us Donald Trump like he was morally upstanding or a decent human. But when Joe says something bigoted or ogles someone's little kid, CNN says, isn't this refreshing? Biden's like a mix of JFK and FDR with all the finer parts of Harry Truman. Christ, I know that they don't think that we're the brightest, but at least pretend we got a couple lumens. Ask yourself if you have ever questioned what they fed you, or do you just shut your eyes and then consume it? And now ask yourself if you ate every one of Biden's lies under guise of harm reduction.
Independent left news.
Indie left news.
Independent left news.
Oh yeah, and I got news from Independent Left.
Thank you, Independent Left out news.
They actually put up posts of different shows, different things going on.
Check out Indie Left. They're doing a lot of good things. They're on Twitter and Instagram, and they've helped promote our show a lot.
Thanks for the work you do behind the scenes, too. This man does our Discord and some other help, so I just love to shout him out. Thanks so much, man. Yeah.
They kind of really do a great job of pushing.
Thank you, Independent Left, for reminding me of that.
Check out independentleft.news.
IndieLeft.news.
Indie Left, shout out.
Indie Live Mic. Hello, hello. Everybody should hear me now. Everybody should be hearing me. Hi, hi. Okay, we're doing this a couple minutes early, and of course, we messed up the mics as usual, so Spotify should not still be on. We turned off Spotify Reef. Thank you very much. Welcome, welcome. This is Friends of Indie Left. It has been a month since Friends of Indie left. Holy moly. Kay Cabela was our last guest, and I promised our next guest that I would not do another Friends of Indie Left until I had her on, and I am holding true to my word. And here she is, and hopefully her mic is still hot. Misty, Comrade Misty, how are you? Do we hear her? Probably not now. See that? How about now? What about now?
Can you hear me now? Can you hear
I
me
should.
now?
I see some bounces where it says desktop audio, even though I know it's not really desktop audio. I see Indie Mic Live is hot. I see you're hot. Nope. Great. Doing it live. Check out all the links.
Doing it live.
Doing it live. Okay. And how
Doing
about
it
this one?
live.
Zoom Discord guest live. How about now?
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello,
Can you hear
hello.
me now?
Somebody ping
Can you
me
hear
and
me
tell me
now?
I'm good. Reef, tell me I'm good.
Reef.
Reef. Crab says that he's hot. Yeah, I know Crab's hot. Crab's always hot. Yes, okay, we're good. Good. Okay. Because we got a lot to get
Okay.
to. Holy moly.
Hi, guys.
So I'm going to do this with Misty there, which is something different. But welcome everyone to Friends of Indie Left, and thank you so much for being here, checking this out. I started doing this show earlier this year because I thought it'd be a great way for all of us to learn about the people whose work and analysis we amplify regularly at Independent Left News, in Leftist.today, even our Discord server, independentleft.gg. There's a reason why we include their content in our aggregator sites, and we want you to see what we see. This is also being co-streamed to Indie News Network, which is our friends, and of course our friends on Indie Left also play well with the network members. And we're going to talk about how many of our network members have already been on your radio show, which we love, and of course on all your other shows, which love it. Great. So episode 6, I am joined by a true friend, and of course you guys can't see me, but Misty can, which is one of the cool things about Friends of Indie Left. Hi. But Indy is joined by a true friend, someone who gets what we're doing here and supports us full-throatedly. I mean, there are a few bigger supporters that we have, and we love her for it. The first purchaser of a Bongfather shirt, the first person to line up for a GoFundMe or a direct action protest in the streets. She's a mom, she's a wife, she's an activist, a radio show host, a multi-show streamer, a generous, willing guest, and champion of the underdogs. This is Misty Winston, a.k.a. Sarcasm Stardust, a.k.a. Comrade Misty. So that's your little
friends.
intro. Hi, everybody.
That was very nice.
Oh, thank you. I
Very
wrote it all
nice.
out. And then I'm going to also to mention that Misty is the co-host and co-creator of Facts on the Ground, the creator and host of Bitch with Comrade Misty, and a co-host for Action for Assange, which streams 2 vigils every week on Tuesday and Friday nights. Most recently, Misty's been hired by TNT Radio, and yes, that means paid. Wonderful. Congratulations. To do a talk show every Monday through Friday, 3 to 6 p.m. And again, you can be watching this live. We're live on 7 platforms right now. Actually, technically, it's like 10 or 11 when I broke it down, because we're live on Rokfin, YouTube, Odysee, Facebook, Telegram, Twitch, Twitter, and we're actually on independentleft.news. If you go there, you can see us streaming live there. we're on the link tree because you can actually open it up and embed a link tree. There's so many different platforms and places you can go find us. So it's really cool. And again, I just appreciate you being here. And this is only the 6th one. And I'm only bringing on the people who I really cover and I really love and just so many different things. Oh my God. I have, again, a whole list of questions for you, but it's not going to be anything like invasive, but I just want to talk. I just want to like learn more about you than I ever had known, like about family, what you did before you got like into this stuff, and then talking about your evolution into doing what you're doing, into activism, and then into getting on camera, and kind of how that, how that happened, and how the hell we're sitting here right now having this conversation, right?
Yeah, totally. I get it. Like, I like that you do this. I don't necessarily like talking about myself, but I like hearing other people talk about themselves. Like, it's always fun to hear, everybody's kind of journey to get where they got and how they figured out that they wanted to do, independent media of whatever form. And just apologies to everybody that's listening. I'm a little stuffy. My allergies and everything are all jacked up. So I probably sound kind of gross, but I'm sorry about that. Not much I can do.
Your Yeti sounds better than mine. And that's credit to Reef, but your Yeti sounds awesome. Say hi to everybody in chat. Thank you so much for being here. Hi to everybody on the Rokfin as well. We're live on Rokfin, of course. Odysee, everybody. We're just chilling out, and we're gonna hang out and talk about what Misty's doing, what Misty's been up to, and how Misty got here, and how we got to have this conversation. Like I said, it's one of the most fun things that I do. In this journey that I've had in independent media, is meeting all the people that I just wanted to share your links, really. And then all of a sudden it just got to be like, hey, we started talking and we got into these chats, and it's pretty crazy. I can't even remember exactly when I first watched you or saw you streaming or live. I don't know if it was an Assange event, but I think it was actually like somebody said something to me about like, watch out for that Misty girl type of thing. Of course, I did come from the shit lib world. So,
yeah.
So it's just kind of funny.
Get that a lot.
Right? So it's just kind of hilarious the way it all evolved and how involved I got with the Assange movement and how involved you are with, of course, with everything. And again, so I want to learn first about like, okay, career, jobs, and kids. How old are the kids? And I know you got Jack at home as a cat, other animals, other stories. What do we got?
I'm a cat hoarder. I'm a little bit of a cat hoarder. So my kids are 11 and 13. I have 2 girls. And they're a lot of fun, but also at that age where it's like every gray hair that I have has one of their names on it. It's very stressful trying to raise teenage girls or preteen girls. And then pet wise, I am a cat hoarder. So I never used to be a cat person, but we tried. My oldest daughter is autistic. And so we had heard great things about having dogs for kids with autism, and we're like, yeah, we're gonna get a dog. So we made the mistake though of getting a puppy, and that was not a good plan. We didn't really think it through. We found this really adorable black lab puppy, and we're like, yeah, let's do it. We didn't really process the information, and we were just very excited, so we just did it. And my kid really likes her space. Like, she likes her personal space, and puppies do not care about your personal space. So that didn't work out so well. She was scared of the dog, and it was like a whole thing. We tried it out for a while, and it just didn't work out. So we ended up rehoming the puppy with my husband's cousin, who has which the puppy really lucked out, because my husband's cousin has like this huge farm with a bunch of dogs, and like she's out there living her best life now. So that didn't work out, but we knew that we wanted to have pets for our kids of some kind. So we figured cats would probably be the best way to go. I wasn't super excited about the idea because I was always a dog person. But we got 2 cats, and those seem to take off. But we also live in the middle of, it's kind of, so we live in a weird location because it's in the country, but we're also on like a very near a main road and a main highway. And we're also right by a church. And so we get a lot of drop-offs, like kitten drop-offs and stuff. And so over the course of time, we've like, we've taken in numerous cats and rehomed them or whatever. And currently we have 7. We have 7 right now. So we have, let's see. Okay, we have Daryl, we have Bernie, we have Chibi, we have Jack, obviously. We have Angel, we have Grumpy, and we have Julian. So those are my 7 cats.
Of course, we have
and I love them
Julian.
all. I know, right? Somebody was like trying to make fun of me and said something about having a cat named after Julian, and I'm like, yeah. What kind of cult leader would I be if I didn't have a cat named after Julian?
I mean,
of course,
I'm surprised
obviously.
they're not all named Julian, to be honest. That's what a true cult leader would do, right?
I know, right? No, just the one named Julian. But yeah, they're here's one right there. Hi, who are you? I can't tell. So we have 2 that come here. Nope, I think that's Angel.
Shout out to a friend of mine.
They drive me nuts.
So shout out to a friend of mine. He's just told me that his wife's expecting, and that they're I don't know, 14, 15 weeks in. He goes, we just picked out a name, and I'm like joking around. He's like, what do you think the name's gonna be? So I'm like, Herman, Fred. We were joking around. No, Julian, and he brought a tear to my eye. I was like, oh.
I love it.
So good.
I love it.
So good. So shout out to dude. I'm not gonna reveal who it is, but you know who you are.
Shout out to you
for sure.
Definitely.
So 11 and 13. How long you been married? How many years?
So we've been together for 15. We've been married for 10.
Okay.
This year's 10. This September will be 10.
That's great. I love that you don't really remember. And you know what? This December, I'm like, is it 2012? I think it was, 10.
I mean,
10.
after a certain point, does it really matter how long it's been? As long as you remember the anniversary date,
it all kind of runs
really
together.
Matter if it's been 10 years or 12 years or 13. It doesn't matter. We're still together. I
got to play this for my wife because yes, I need her to adopt that philosophy for sure.
Yeah, I'm
as long as you got the date.
Yes, I'm the least stereotypical female when it comes to that stuff. Like
we're coming up on 10 years ourselves this year. It's kind of funny.
Yeah, that's us.
We've got girls, but twins that are 6. So I feel you on the estrogen. We've also got a son who's 4. So it's been pretty crazy around here. It's loud. And any tips for like what to expect with 2 girls that are already pushing back so hard and just wonderful gems and dreams and amazing and wow, so difficult.
We have a barn, and my husband said that he's going to move into the barn.
Well, I have a basement office, and I've already half moved out here already. But no, I can't hide. I don't want to miss it all. Yeah, it's
wow. That's pretty brutal.
It's fun at times. It's fun all the time. Actually, they're just amazing. They really are.
It's just there's only gonna be a lot of drama.
It's constant fighting. It's constant breaking up. It's one-upsmanship all day long, and you have to distribute the exact amount of cereal to the same, and they have the same number of apple slices, and it's just even all the time. So 10 years. Where was your honeymoon? Where'd you finally
Boston.
get to go? Boston. And what'd you do?
Which I know is weird. Most people go to like a beach or whatever. That's not us. We're like we're both kind of history nerds. And he had been to Boston when we first started dating. He always told me, I'm going to take you to Boston. I'm going to take you to Boston. And it never happened. And so finally, when we got married, I'm like, you're fucking taking me to Boston.
And what'd you do? You went to a Sox game?
Yeah, we went to a Sox game, which was a lot of fun. It's a lot smaller. The ballpark's a lot smaller than I was expecting. It's very small. But yeah, we did like the whole nerdy, like the ghost tour. We rode the trolley system, which they have a really, if you've ever been to Boston, it's so dope. They have this amazing trolley tour system. So you can get, I think there's like 15 stops and you can get on and off. And there's like one it'll pop by like every 10 or 15 minutes. And so you can like ride throughout the city. So you can get like a 2 or 3 day pass, and then you can just take that everywhere, and they'll give you like little, like each driver has their own style, and they'll tell you different history things about the city or whatever. So I highly recommend that. It was so much fun. We just did like the nerdy like tours and all of that stuff, and obviously we went to the Italian district, and I ate my face off and drank my face off, and it was just that's really our kind of a vacation. Like, not that I don't love a beach, but that was just kind of more our style.
And you do like the duck boat tour thing too? Everybody talks about the duck boat tour. No.
Yeah, we saw them. We didn't do it though. We'll go back. We went back for our 1 year anniversary. We'll go back. We were thinking about going back since it's our 10-year. We were thinking about going back in September. Which September in Boston is beautiful. Highly recommended. Yes. Yeah. Then it's you get the leaves changing and everything else. But yeah, my brother actually lived up there for a little while. So I got up there pretty often for a bit. It's been several years since I've been up there. Savvy's up there, so you go up there and hang out with her for sure. Yeah.
So that's really funny. So Boston, that's definitely not a traditional honeymoon. Of course, you're not a traditional person, so that's not really a surprise. How are you managing your time so that you can fit family and job and this and organizing, activism, everything that we do, and how are we doing this? I don't know. we definitely have like robot duplicates or something. Like how are you doing
when
this?
I saw that when you told me when that question came up and you were like, how are you managing your time, I just started laughing. I'm like, I'm not. I live in a perpetual state of scramble. I'm constantly stressed out. It's better now. Like when we just got through DC, but when I was organizing DC, I was pretty much on my own. So I was trying to, and I started organizing that months ago. And then I just took the job at TNT like a month ago. So like as we're going into the home stretch of getting ready to go into DC, I took on a job, which was, a whole other thing. So I mean, I don't really manage my time that well, and I'm always stressed out, and I always feel like I'm not giving enough somewhere. And I think we all deal with that, when we're all trying to figure out that balance. I haven't figured it out. I'd love it if somebody could teach me.
Yeah, because I'm constantly getting it that like most of the people you deal with, they don't have like families and spouses, and there's a lot of single people that have a lot more disposable time. Like, yeah, but they're all working. Don't you get it? They don't have like the chance of a 2-income family, and they've got to work all the time, and then they're exhausted too, and then they've got lives and friends and things. This isn't what most, but we've got a whole group of amazing people in our world, and we're all managing and finding the time, and it's pretty remarkable.
Trying.
And again, trying, and and we're dealing with the trolls and the haters occasionally, not very often here lately, and thank goodness for that.
You want some of mine?
No, well, no, I don't. It's been pretty cool lately. We got a lot of single dudes. I'm telling you, thirsty single dudes all over the place in this space. We need some more women for sure. I'd love to get some more single women and some more women. I try to amplify a ton of women streamers and women content creators, writers, you name it. So question, my other question, have you always lived in Ohio? Because I know you live in Ohio now. Yes. Always lived in state, never lived anywhere else. Favorite place outside of Boston to travel to? Anywhere? Because I know you've been to DC,
I don't like DC.
Don't like DC. No, we don't like DC.
No, I mean, I like going to DC because of what I'm going there to do. I like going there to do what I do. I like going there. I mean, that means I'm hanging out with the people that get it, which is always fun. But DC it feels dirty. It feels heavy. It feels dark. It's very negative. It's a very oppressive feeling. I mean, I know that sounds kind of like, woo woo, but it really, I mean, as soon as you hit inside the Beltway, you can feel it. You're just like, oh, you feel like you need a shower. So I don't know. I think I will probably never go there again because the travel to get there sucked, but Hawaii was beautiful. It really was. And I know that a lot of like right now Hawaiians are really trying to push for people not to visit, so I wouldn't dare right now anyways, just because the indigenous Hawaiian people are asking, you know, the white folks to back off. So I would honor that. But I will say that when we did go, it was years ago, and we went to Maui, and it was so beautiful. I did learn though that I have an allergy to VOG, which is like the volcanic ash fog stuff that they get.
Really?
I didn't know it was a thing. I know. I had no idea it was a thing. And all of a sudden it's like mid-afternoon, and like my eyes start swelling up and my nose is all stuffy. And I'm like, what is happening to me? And then the guys at the hotel were like, oh yeah, you just need to go inside. You're fine. And I'm like, okay. So I had to go hang out inside for the rest of the day, and then I was fine. But I didn't know that was a thing. So I learned something new. But yeah, I would say Hawaii was it was a bitch to get there, but it was really beautiful.
Yeah, do you have to fly through LA, San Francisco? What was your
I think we went through Phoenix, and then I don't remember.
Yeah, that can be a hell of a trip.
Yeah, it was like
from
16 hours or something crazy.
Wow.
Oy.
Yeah, with transfers and waiting for layovers and that kind of thing. Sure. Yeah. Lady Alex M in the chat over on Rokfin says, you haven't lived until you experienced the smelly New York City subways. Well, I have. It's pretty nasty, and you don't really need to experience. Well, you can experience the rest of New York without getting in the subway for sure. But thank you, Lady Alex. We love you. We appreciate your support. She's in all the streams, and I see her every day on Rokfin. She's in Slow News Day, and she's one of the fans. She's one of us for sure.
Yeah.
So one of my favorite questions is, what's the funniest job you've ever had? I'm sure you've had a ton of different jobs. You've done.
Funniest one, I don't know if it's necessarily the funniest one, but it was definitely the funniest experience because it only lasted an hour and 15 minutes. But I got hired and I started working at McDonald's during, I don't know if you remember the little Beanie Baby craze.
Okay.
That was a mistake. They were swamped, and they like, here I am, this like 16-year-old kid, and everybody's yelling at me to do this, do that, and I'm like, dude, it's my first day. I just walked out. I'm like, I'm out of here. They sent me a check for like, I don't know, $6.84 or something like that, and I was like, I'm done with this. So I don't know how funny that is necessarily as a job, but that experience was pretty funny.
Do you have?
I haven't really had like a ton of jobs, honestly.
No.
I mean, I worked at a so this will date me incredibly, but I worked at a pager place.
Okay.
You guys remember pagers?
Sure.
So it was like then it like was morphing into a cell phone joint when I left. And then I worked at Kmart. Oh, I will say, working at Kmart in the layaway department during Christmas. Oh, don't do it. Although I don't know if Kmart even exists anymore.
I think they just went out of business. We had one of the last Kmarts by me, and they just closed their doors. I think like about 6 months or a year ago. They had like going out of business sale, so shut it all.
Yeah.
So
and then I worked in restaurants, multiple different restaurants. I was a restaurant person. Honestly, I love restaurants, and if I didn't have kids, and in particular, if I didn't have a child who was on the spectrum and needed like a schedule. I would go back to restaurants in a heartbeat. It's so much fun. Oh my God. I love bartending so much. Can I just tell you, I worked at like a sports bar kind of joint, bartending, and I love sports. And when you're a girl and you like sports and you're a bartender, you make so much money. Oh my God, you make so much money. All you gotta do is talk football, and I mean, you get so much money. So it's ridiculous.
And I think you can do that a little bit.
Yeah, I miss it. I miss it. I miss it.
Yeah,
a little bit.
Okay,
a little bit. Yeah.
Wow. So again, that's awesome. So funny job. So bartending. See, I didn't know that you were a bartender. That you were in the restaurant thing. So were you also like serving and doing hostessing and back stuff also, or like just mostly bar?
When I initially started, so the first restaurant I ever worked at was a Frisch's, which I don't even know if that exists anymore. No, not Frisch's. I'm sorry, a Shoney's, which I don't know if that even exists anymore. So I was a server there, and then I went to Frisch's. I was a server there. Oh no, I lied. First restaurant I worked at was Bob Evans. I was a hostess at Bob Evans. That
Oh,
was the
wow,
place I
okay.
didn't serve. It's the only place I didn't serve. Then I served at Shoney's, I served at Frisch's, and then I went to Olive Garden. I was a server there, and then that's where I made the initial transition to a bartender. So I was like a server and a bartender. I would do different shifts, multiple different shifts or whatever. And then yeah, I went to the sports bar joint and was a bartender there for a long time. So yeah, I did a little bit of everything. I was a busser. Like there were times I would bus. I cross-trained in the kitchen for a little while. I thought I was going to go into management. So yeah, it was fun. I love the restaurant industry.
I could totally see telling Misty that my food is not well done enough and seeing that reaction. like I don't know which character in Waiting are you exactly? Like, I know you've seen that movie. You were in
I don't think so.
You've never seen
I'm not a movie person.
Oh my God. Okay. If you were in the restaurant,
I don't watch a lot of
business,
movies.
One of these days,
I'll watch it. Waiting. I know. I remember.
It's
hearing
called
people talk
Waiting.
about it. It's older, right?
Yeah. It's got Ryan Reynolds and Anna Faris, and it's just a total take on the restaurant movie, and they all work at like a
I think I have seen that, but it's been
place.
ages. I don't remember.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been quite a while, but
no, I'm really good in the restaurant. Like I guess I am tooting my own horn, but I'm a really phenomenal server and bartender. I think it's because I have severe ADHD. And so my brain, it's like controlled chaos. The restaurant industry is controlled chaos. And I thrive there. You know what I mean? Like my brain, it just like fires on all cylinders. And I just know, I instinctually know everything that's happening. I can remember everything that's going on. And you know, that's just like where my brain loves to be, you know what I mean? In that controlled chaos kind of environment.
Well, you're living in a controlled chaos environment. So let's talk about your controlled chaos environment a little bit now. So you started going on camera. That's what I want to hear about. Like, how did you make the jump like into actually like, were you a guest on some streams? Were you I'm guessing that's kind of how it starts, where somebody's like, hey, can you come on like even on a podcast where it's not even necessarily on camera, and that's kind of how it started.
I blame Jimmy Dore.
Whoa.
I blame Jimmy Dore.
Well,
so
okay.
The story is, I had been considering starting a show. I had been kind of vacillating between doing politics or potentially, I'm a true crime nerd. I was going to do a true crime channel, and cover true crime stuff, which Jesse and I actually kind of morphed together. We were doing Facts Remain, which is just like a true crime episode that we were doing every Tuesday, which is on hiatus because I'm trying to do the TNT thing and just get my schedule figured out. So I had been bouncing the ideas back and forth between my head in my head. And then the summer of 2019, I went to Chicago to see Jimmy Dore in concert. And Andrew Smith and Taylor Hudak were both there. And they had just started Action for Assange. So Action for Assange started on the heels of Unity for Jay, which was a long running online series that was dedicated to covering the Julian Assange case. And that they shut that down. And so Andrew and Taylor decided that they wanted to continue, kind of pick up the mantle and continue that effort. So they started Action for Assange. And I had been mutuals with both of them on Twitter for a very long time. We were friends, we had talked, all of that good stuff. So we were all in Chicago. They had decided to come to Chicago they were handing out wristbands, and they were handing out signs. It was like kind of make the line outside of the Jimmy Dore show kind of a mini protest. So I introduced myself to them and like, hi, good to meet you in person, blah, blah, blah. We ended up sitting next to each other at the Jimmy Dore show. I got drunk and Andrew was like, you should come on the vigil. You should come on as a guest. It'll be so fun. And me being drunk, I'm like, yeah, I'll totally do that. And then I woke up and was sober and was like, fuck, I totally just agreed to be on somebody's show. But I was like, okay, but I'll just, I won't mention it. They'll just forget that I said it. It'll be fine. Well, if you have ever met Andrew Smith, that's not a thing. He's very persistent. So they had to bug me. He is. He is. And so they had to bug me for a couple of months. And I was finally like, okay. And so I actually went back and looked because I was curious. I couldn't remember what day it was. It was August 28th, 2019 was my very first appearance on camera, on the Action for Assange vigil. which then morphed into, will you come back and be a guest again? Which then morphed into, hey, we really like you. Will you be a guest host? Which then morphed into, hey, why don't you just be a permanent co-host? Which then morphed into, now I'm kind of running it because Andrew's taking a break. So,
yeah, I need to take a break, and this is getting out of hand. Exactly. Can we? Can we go? Can you take over? And amazingly, you're doing that.
So
yeah,
I blame Jimmy Dore.
Well, Jimmy Dore for having a show in Chicago 3 years ago. Okay, well, we always like to blame Jimmy Dore. It's all Jimmy Dore's fault. But then again, it's also
him tomorrow.
It's also
in Columbus.
Andrew Smith's fault. What's that?
Yes, it is. Jimmy Dore's going to be in Columbus tomorrow. I'm going to see him.
Oh
tomorrow,
wow!
so.
Oh, that's awesome. Are you gonna go on stage? Is he gonna put you on stage and do like a bit?
Oh God, I hope not. I hope not.
Oh my God.
I mean, nothing. I put nothing past him, but I hope not.
Well, I would love to hear you get up on stage and talk a little bit about what happened in DC and educate some of the people in the crowd about what's going on there and what's happening on the 20th as well and what they can do to help for sure. But if Jimmy Dore or Steph are listening,
and remind him. Yes, I am going to text him tomorrow and remind him to talk about Julian Assange, because we went last year too. And we went for the first show and he didn't mention Julian Assange in the first show. So we went backstage in between shows and I'm like, you have to talk about Julian Assange, like do it. And so he still wasn't doing it. So finally I just started yelling. My husband and I just started yelling from the crowd, free Assange. And finally we got it. He finally did it. So nice. I'm going to text him tomorrow and be like, listen, don't make me yell at you again.
Right.
Don't make me heckle you.
Like he was at a thing. There was an Assange thing the same weekend. Like, yeah. And you got what's going on the 20th, and I think there's like a month, and they're just going to keep kicking that can down the road. We know, but you know, it's funny because my first appearance on a live stream, other than, you know, being a guest on Fault Lines Radio, was on the Vigil. When Andrew asked me to be on the Vigil, so that's just kind
He's
of
very
another
persistent.
Funny connection and tie. Yes, he is, and
that's awesome.
When I was asked to be, it was an honor, and again, all the amazing people that have been on that, I was like, shit, where do I sign up?
We have had some really,
oh my God,
awesome guests.
I mean,
for this little tiny show that really, I mean, we're hugely shadow banned. It's really difficult for us to pick up subscribers on YouTube. I mean, we do okay on Rokfin, but it's really, I mean, they really, anything, I mean, Assange is in the title. We're screwed. But yeah, we've, had people like John Kiriakou and Bill Benny and David McBride and Kathy Vogan and Stefania Maruzzi and like all kinds of just amazing.
Webb,
like it's still
and Juan Passarelli, and I mean like
yes.
You know, the all-star, the amazing team. Oh, there's Mona in the chat. Mona, welcome. I love you, Mona. Hi, Mona.
Mona is the Michael Phelps of girlfriends.
She's amazing. She's the Michael Phelps of everything, of supporters, of moms, of daughters. She's incredible. Just I can't rave enough about that woman.
I love Mona.
She introduced me to so many people. If it weren't for her, I wouldn't probably be doing a lot of this stuff either. So again, like you've been doing action for Assange. You did the billboards for Assange. Okay, so for people who don't know, tell everybody about like that whole campaign, and are you still doing that? Is that still going on?
So Daniel's been doing it in North Carolina. Daniel DeCedar, my dear friend, who is an amazing organizer and activist who doesn't get near the credit that he deserves or recognition that he deserves. He's very kind of quiet behind the scenes. But he's been doing it in North Carolina. I did it here in Columbus for, I don't know, probably about 6 months or so. It was hugely successful. It was last summer-ish. Spring, summer-ish. I'm going to pick it up again. I think moving into this fall, I really, really, really want to get some, at least one billboard up around the Ohio State football stadium, the shoe. That's a just massive.
Oh yeah, right by Ohio State.
Of thousands of people. Yes.
Oh, I know where.
So I would love to get a billboard
sports. Yes, I used to be a sports junkie at one point before I got really into politics.
Yeah, I'm not really a sports junkie. I'm a college football junkie, kind of. I've always kind of been since I turned 18. So my dad died, and my dad loved Ohio State. And so I didn't really care about football. But then when he died, it was like that weird thing that it kind of makes you, I know it sounds dumb, but it makes you feel close to that person.
It's your link, sure.
So yeah, I mean, it was just something that I kind of picked up on. It just made me feel close to my dad, and I got like really obsessive about it. I've cooled out a lot since I had kids. There for a while. I mean, I was a walking, talking like ESPN episode. You know what I mean? Like I knew all of the statistics. I knew the score to every game, and I knew who played what position. And I knew it all. And I can't really, my kids won't allow that kind of time. Plus what I do now, there's no way I'd have enough time to, put that much energy into it. But I still do love watching college football. It's a lot of fun. And it's, it's kind of one of those, I think we all have our vices, those things that we need to like distract us away from this, because it gets very dark and depressing. And that's just one of mine.
Yeah. Reef keeps yelling
I want
at
to
me
pick the billboards back up.
Reef keeps yelling at me that I need to find something away from this. And I can't figure that out, because I keep running back to this, and it's just,
I know.
I know, and it's like, hey, let's do another show. Hey, Jesse Jet, what you want to do a new show? Yeah, yes, yeah. I have to start saying like, hey guys, plate's a little bit full right now, like, but it's just so hard, because you want to help everybody. You want to do it all. You feel terrible when it's hard, but there's only so much we can all do, and it is.
My kid just yelled at me because today I had my show today from 3 to 6, and then at 6:30 I was on with Compton J and Nick from RBN, and then I'm doing this, and my kid's like, "Dude, you have a lot of shows." Like, yeah, dude, I know.
My kids too.
I can't help it. I mean, I can, but I can't.
I know.
It's when people ask me to do things, I have a really difficult time saying no. You know what I'm saying? Especially if it's somebody that wants to talk to me about Julian Assange. Forget it. I won't say no. I won't say no. If somebody wants to talk about Julian Assange and give it coverage, I'm there. Show me when do I where? When? Tell me when. You know what I mean? Well, so that's hard for me.
Now we know you're hooked, but you better actually do it, or you're gonna have to deal with Misty, and you don't want to have to deal with that, because we see the rough side of Misty, and I've never really seen the rough side of Misty. I just hear about the rough side of Misty because I know better, and there's no reason to.
I'm super mean. I'm not. Like, we were just talking about
that's
this in
funny.
DC,
you have this reputation, right? You have this reputation for oh my god, but
I'm not mean. I mean, no. I am kind of to certain people.
Yeah,
I can
no, you have an edge, and you smell bullshit like immediately, and it's genuine, and if you're not bringing genuine to the table, you're not going to last very long in Misty's circle, and she's going to sniff that out fast. That's just been what I've seen.
Yeah.
But
I'm not
I
like
also
unreasonable. I don't think.
No, but again,
this raging bitch. You know what I mean?
So again, I'm sure having a daughter on the spectrum, March for Medicare for All, and Medicare for All, healthcare for all is a thing that's near and dear to your heart. Again, for all, not just for people who have children on the spectrum, but services available to all, including special needs, including disabled, including services that aren't being made available right now, exclusionary stuff that's happening. And again, I see you out there fighting for parents. I see you out there fighting for everyone, for kids, for disabled people, for anyone that it's just amazing to see you line up again, kind of like me. It's like, where do you want me? Okay, there's a thing, there's a stream, we're going to do an event, we're going to do a 3-day online summit. Okay, what do I need to do? It's awesome. And again, I love that you're there and game for all of that in spite of everything. And like, do you get the kids involved in this at all? Like how involved, how much do they know about like what you do? And
They know a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you saw my tweet the other day. My kid blew me away this past week. She had a social studies project where they're doing like cultural, like, you know what I mean? Just like pick a country and then you have to like do a little presentation about the culture or whatever. And she chose Russia. And she was telling me this after school and she was like, yeah, we have this project. I had to choose a country. And I'm like, well, what country did you choose? And she's like, Russia. And I instantly was kind of like, oh, oh no. And she was like, yeah. And the other kids in the class were like, why would you choose Russia? And I just told them, listen, you don't know anything about Russia. You just know what the media wants you to know. And I was like, yes, this is my kid. And then she goes on to explain to me, I was blown away. I mean, in 11-year-old words, like she didn't know what the Donbass region was called. She didn't know what the Maidan coup was called. But she was sitting there like describing to me, yeah, but 8 years ago, we overthrew their government and then they've been killing a bunch of people. Like she like rattling off all these things that I had no idea that she knew. But then I was like, I'm like mind blown. My husband was down like where I am now. We were upstairs and he was playing video games down here. And I'm like, did you just hear her? And he's like, yes. And I'm like, how do you know all this stuff? And she tells me, because we live in a split level. So I'm on like the ground level, I guess. Right. And then there's stairs right there that go up to my living room. And so it's like around a corner. But she said, sometimes when you're on your shows, I'll come and I'll sit on the stairs and listen. And I had no idea she did that. I mean, she's listening to me. But they know. I don't talk to them about stuff too much because that's a lot for kids.
It's heavy stuff. I mean, how much do you say and I don't lie to them. Figure out.
Yeah, I don't lie. I'm very open if they ask questions. My oldest is kind of, she doesn't really care. You know what I mean? It's not her thing. So she doesn't know probably as much. She might surprise me. I don't know. But my youngest is very in tune. Like she's pretty aware. She knows who Julian Assange is. She knows why he's in jail. She knows who Chelsea Manning is. When I got my Jeep a couple years ago, she's the one that decided my Jeep's name is Chelsea after Chelsea Manning. And that was because my kids said we should name her Chelsea. My 11-year-old especially is very aware. I don't take them to protests or anything like that. Especially my oldest, she has a lot of sensory issues. She can't handle that kind of noise and a crowd and all of that stuff. Glory Jones on a megaphone would not be a good time for her. That would not be a good time for her. But
NATO,
my youngest
right?
is pretty aware.
How do you spell terrorist? NATO.
NATO. How do you spell terrorist?
Shout out to Glory Jones. And you know what? I have to apologize to Glory in advance because in all the descriptions and everything I wrote, I completely left out Free the Truth. Holy crap. That's yet another show that you do. That. Holy shit. Well, because wait a minute. Let's think about this. We've got Action for Assange. Okay. We've got Facts on the Ground. We've got MCSC. We got Bitch with Comrade Misty. We've got TNT Radio. Okay. And yeah, so I think that covers all of it. And then also, of course, Free the Truth whenever it decides to come back.
We may bring it back. We may move it to MCSC though. I think we're going to move it to MCSC and keep it in-house.
I think that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, just starting the TNT thing, that's 15 hours a week, and that's not including all the time it takes to book and prep and research and all of that stuff. So I was just trying to and honestly, I was worried about my voice first starting off because talking for 15 hours a week may not seem like a lot, but it's a lot. So I was kind of worried about my voice and stuff. But now that I got through DC and I can kind of get my schedule, kind of calm down a little bit, we'll probably start picking up some of those shows again.
Well, it's not just 15 hours a week. Okay, it's 15 hours a week plus like 6 hours a week of vigils and 3 hours a week of bitch and 2.5 hours a week of Facts on the Ground. All right, or Facts on Friday.
Yeah.
If you do Facts on Friday,
some of these shows are
technically Facts on Friday is part of Facts on the Ground. Like I don't even know. FOTG is like a channel of different shows of you and Jesse. Sometimes it's you, sometimes it's Jesse. For people who don't know, go sign up for those channels. Amazing. Okay, they're on Rokfin, they're on YouTube. I've got all their links in the description on all the different channels. They do post on Twitter, but only I think like when they go live or when there's a video. I think that's about the only time that I see them.
We're really bad about that.
No, that's okay. And that's something I definitely want to talk to you about at some point is how do we help organize your digital life a little bit better, and we'll work on that because I again, your bitch channel, like when I go to the homepage of your bitch channel, it says there's no content.
I know. I don't know what happened.
Like no content.
Everybody keeps telling me I need to fix it, and I
no
just
content.
don't care enough to fix it. If you go to videos, though.
Yes, if you go to videos, you can find all the stuff. You have to switch tabs, but for the average layperson that doesn't necessarily go to the second tab, we got to make sure that they see what they're supposed to see. There can be a trailer.
It's been that way for ages.
We got to hype up. We got to hype up Misty. Come on. I don't know
about all that.
This is my area of expertise. You know that, and Nico's too. To his credit, and shout out to Nico.
Nico gets really mad.
See?
He gets mad because I don't like my titles are shit, and I'm terrible at self-promotion. Like if you want me to promote like something you're doing or something Reef's doing or something that Nico's doing, I'm the best hype guy ever. But if you want me to hype my own stuff, I don't do that.
Or Robbie Yeager.
It's very I'll hype Robbie all day long.
We got Earth Day coming
Robbie.
up.
I'm trying to get him on TNT, and he's been kind of off the grid for a while.
So MIA. Yep. Yeah. We've been shout out to Robbie if you're watching. I sent him a link to the stream. Much love.
We love you, Robbie Receipts.
Yes, Robbie Receipts, one of the best out there. Love that dude.
Yes.
But so bitch just started like literally. I remember you were like, I just want to have a show where I can just have an outlet to complain and talk about whatever I want to talk about, and it's just my show, and that's it. And that's bitch. I was like, that is the perfect name for what you want to do, and that could not be better. So and that started about a year ago
ish. I don't remember, but that came about really fast. Like that was like within 36 hours of me mentioning it, there was a show.
Wow.
And that was, I mean, we had joked about it for a long time because like the MCSC crew always jokes because I'm really good at making friends. Because I'm mean, like everybody thinks I'm mean. So, it was a thing. And then I was like, I'm going to, because I criticize everybody's favorite politicians. And they were like, you should do a show called Fuck Your Faves with Comrade Misty.
I remember
because
that.
I was just, I was tearing down everybody's favorite politicians, and everybody hated me for years. Like those same people are now also criticizing those politicians, but for years people hated me for doing it. So that was like a whole thing within. It was like an inside joke in the MCSC crew. And then I forget what it was. I was just on Twitter one day joking about it. And then Sleepy Josh was like, who's our tech ninja, who's an amazing tech ninja. I could not do any of the things I've done so far without Sleepy Josh. He's my hero. He's awesome. And he was like, I can do that on Wednesdays at 7. And I'm like, really? You can do it? And this is like on a Monday. And I'm like, okay. And then it was like, well, here's the name, and here's a logo, and okay, we have a show. It was like boom, 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 36 hours. Here's a show. It was very organic and fast, and it's a lot of fun. It's therapy.
Oh, it's been so much fun. The whole INN crew went on about 6-8 weeks ago. Yeah, shout out Sleepy Josh. Everybody buy him a cup of coffee.
Yes.
However it is, cash app him if you can't, because I think buy me a coffee now it's like you have to have Stripe or something else. But it's
on Buy Me a Coffee?
Abort You or something. It's
no, I think it's just Bort. I think
Buy Me a Coffee / Bort.
It's Buy Me a Coffee Bort.
/ Bort. Yeah. Okay, yeah, we'll definitely shout out to the engineers and the tech guys. Again, this wouldn't be happening right now. You wouldn't see a bird. You wouldn't see a spectralizer. You wouldn't see this setup at all without Reef. I was just doing a basic bitch restream thing. Where I was using their online platform thing. I didn't have a camera turned on or just barely a logo. And, I'm like, I don't know if I really want to do this like streaming thing if I'm not going to have some kind of He's like, well, we can make this thing bounce at least. And we're going to work on like more of an animation or something, at least until I'm ready to really put my face on camera like I'm doing for you. And there's really, it's getting to a point where I'm just getting ready for that. And, I'm having so much fun with this, and there's such a great community of people. I just, it's much more of a one-to-one connection. I know if they could see me on camera and versus looking at the bird, and plus, I think probably things would take off a lot faster if I was there. But again, this has never been about me. This is about elevating everybody else. Though I want to elevate the platform so that everybody else can grow as well, and we all grow together. And that's the whole idea.
I get it. Putting yourself out there publicly is a lot.
And family, you know, look, you know, it opens your family up, and all kind, you know, there's all kinds of weirdos out there.
My trolls have pictures of my kids. They hacked into my Instagram account and got pictures of my kids. They have pictures of my husband that they will regularly tweet out. You know, they're psychopaths. They're you know, insanely obsessed. Like, I'm just some chick from Ohio, and they're obsessed with everything I tweet, with every move I make, with every word I say. They're probably watching right now. Hi guys, please buy a plant.
Hi haters, just keep watching. There's a lot more coming.
They're really pathetic, but yeah, I mean, you're opening yourself up to that kind of stuff. So you have to just be mindful of that. It is a lot to take on.
Yeah. Yep. Yes, it is. So that's one of the reasons why, again, the whole reason behind this was I just got into to share some links. That's all I wanted to do. And now, I mean, hell, I'm doing streams and shows and networks, and it's well beyond anything I could have ever imagined, and I love it to death, and I can't get enough, and it's amazing, and the people are why I do this, and the voices and challenging imperialism and capitalism and the narrative management that we talk about every day. And let's talk about some of the other people that do that. So I wanted to give a chance to shout out some of our favorite news outlets and writers. Like we talk about, we geeked out on your radio show. I've been on Misty's radio show twice already. I love it, and actually helping her book. So if anybody wants to go on Misty's radio show, you got an hour that you got and some stuff you want to talk about, give me a shout, and let's see if we can set something up. But in the last hour that we were on, we were talking specifically about narrative management. We were talking about platforms. We were talking about so many different things, but especially, again, censorship and what's happening out there on Twitter, what's happening out there on YouTube, and the fact that we're on all these different places because we're worried that somebody doesn't want to hear our message. And again, it's so important to challenge all this stuff because especially now, with they're trying to stoke a war now on two continents. We're now hearing Taiwan saber rattling again. And Middle East,
shit going on in Korea.
Yeah, Middle East, of course. China. Israel was bombing Syria. Was bombing Gaza today. I saw Richard Medhurst was reporting on and sharing video. So
we're still fucking with Africa.
And the bombs keep falling, and the military-industrial complex keeps on rolling. And again,
unchallenged, unchecked, and unchallenged.
There's not enough places that are talking about this outside of our bubble, and they keep pushing this out. And again, look, I don't know what I think we all need to kind of pull together. We need to first, I think, start a Roku channel. I think that's one of the things that we can do, and I'm going to be talking to some of the other network people about pulling our resources together and putting some of our best of content and figuring out, getting an engineer or two to help us navigate how do we get some of the shows that are on there onto other Roku streaming devices, Amazon devices, etc., and putting out an OTT type of app that people could download and put on their TVs. Because I think that's one of the things that we're missing out on is that connection to those devices. And it's not that much money, but of course, you're talking about companies that have endless budgets, and we've got to play on their platforms to a point. The other thing Steve always talks about, and shout out to Slow News Day, he thought of it 6 weeks before we did already, but we need to create our own servers, and we need to be doing our own streaming to our own platforms.
That's really a Sleepy Josh. That's a shout out to Sleepy Josh, not Steve.
Shout out to Sleepy Josh.
That's a shout
also.
Out to Sleepy Josh.
Well, again, we are streaming this live onto IndependentLeft.news, and we are, other than Restream, who could potentially shut us down, but we couldn't be censored by YouTube. We couldn't be censored by any platform. We are free to say whatever we want on this stream on that website, and that's a really freeing thing for sure. And we should all be able to do that on every platform as long as we're not, inciting hate speech, whatever, and calling for violence, which we not all, which we're quite anti-violence. We're anti-imperialism. So, and we're also anti-locking up journalists. Damn it. So
yes.
So stop doing that.
Yes.
Free Daniel Hale, free Julian Assange, free Mumia, free them all. I mean,
yes, all of them. All political prisoners should be freed today.
Hell yeah.
That shouldn't even be up for debate. And I know it's weird to me that I have to fight so hard to get people to care about it.
To even acknowledge that it's happening. I mean, again, the narrative management is so thick that they've got. I saw today Malcolm Nance going and signing up to go and fight alongside Nazis. Good job, dude. Good job.
Good job, douche canoe.
You're doing it.
Such a tool.
Oh my God.
Take Sean Penn with you. Take
Yes,
every
Les
shit
Bones.
lib who
Yes,
stands
I
with
know.
Ukraine. Take them all.
Mm-hmm,
Take them all.
Well, hey, I would say that to put your money where your mouth is for sure. At least I will say that. But man, you want to talk about the bootlicker extraordinaire? That's pretty bad. We've got some hellos in the chat. We've got Uncle Warren Extra Booyah in the chat. He's saying hi, Mindy. Everybody's saying hi, Mindy. Reefer's out there, of course, and Laws 456 and a Variant. We got about 20 people in chat on Restream. That's across all our channels, and then we've got a few people. Cy Lawson, how are you? He's here over on Rokfin. Cynical Girl, and she's of course our big Jessie Jets. Cynic's awesome. We love her.
Yeah.
And again, just the whole fan. Nicole's actually one of the volunteers that helps make Indie Left go. She posts to Instagram the updates every day, and we love her and appreciate her and all the time that she puts in. And she's also a friend, and she's trying to do some stand-up comedy. So if you're in the Sacramento area, definitely check her out. She does some open mic stuff, and she's been posting it up on Twitch or somewhere. I don't know where she is right now. Hi, Mindy from Rose Climb Paint. That's what she is on online. But yeah, she's awesome. So again, thank you and shout out to Nicole Rose for being here, and again for everything you do. So many. Again, look at what's happened to Richard Medhurst the last 6 weeks, 8 weeks. So happy for him. It's about damn time. About damn time.
What happened? Wait, what happened to Richard Medhurst?
So his YouTube channel's got over 100,000 subscribers. He's
okay, good.
In a good way. No, only good stuff happened to him. His Telegram channel is 3,000. His live streams are over 1,000 per show. Like, all of a sudden, everybody finally woke up and started paying attention to what we knew already. Now, they're paying attention because of what he's reporting on the war, and he's so clearly, speaking out against what's actually happening and providing that counter narrative. I mean, such a strong voice out there. So again, big shout out to friend of the show, Rich Medhurst. So again, some of the people that I would love to learn about your conversations with, Alan McLeod and Whitney Webb. I know you've had both of them on the vigils, correct? So
I think Whitney, I don't think I was hosting when Whitney was on the vigil, but we had a, I don't know if you saw on Facts, we had a monster panel on COVID. That's
right, you did.
Holy shit, that was great. I still can't believe I actually participated in that. Like, it was like an out of body experience. But that was like some heavy hitters on one panel. And Whitney was on that one. I've actually reached out to her to come on the radio show, but she just had a baby. She's trying to write the Epstein book, all that stuff. So she's pretty packed, pretty booked until I think she said like May, June-ish. She might be able to make something happen. But yeah, Whitney is fantastic. One of the most sourced journalists I think I've ever read. I mean, everything is impeccably sourced.
Oh my God, yeah. And she's an encyclopedia. She's got she's the dot
she's intimidating. There are some people that I am like I'm very weird. Like I will get in my head that I'm like intimidated by a person, and then I'm like scared to talk to them. And she's one of those people. Vanessa Beeley's another one. I'm super like I'm friends with Vanessa Beeley, but every time I talk to her, I get like really nervous. And when she was on my radio show the last time, I was like, I get so nervous, and she's like, I don't know why, we're friends. And I'm like, I don't know, because I'm like, I respect you and I don't want to say something and sound stupid. And she's like, well, we're all stupid. And I'm like, okay. But yeah, like I get really intimidated by people that I have a lot of respect for. Ryan Christian's another one. He was on my show. I got really intimidated by him too. Alan McLeod was fantastic. He was so nice. He was great. I would love to have him on the TNT show. I need to reach out to him and see if he'd be interested in coming on. But yeah, he was fantastic. He's a really just awesome journalist who's working right now. It encourages me to see people like Alan McLeod and Muhammad Almazy, Kevin Gostola, Max Blumenthal. There's a lot of really amazing journalists still out there, still doing the work. We just need more of them.
Absolutely. We've got a couple working over at Indie News Network right now. We've got The Dissident, and he's been writing some fire stuff, really well sourced stuff, and he's pulling in from Gray Zone and from all the different outlets to write a sourced article about what's happening in Ukraine, narrative management. We actually co-wrote one together. And then of course the wonderful, and she was in chat earlier, I don't know if she's still watching, Tara Reid. Hi Tara. And Tara's now doing live streams also Tara on her new Rokfin channel. Congratulations. We're all helping her out. We're rallying around her on INN after
Tara's
RT.
going to be a regular guest on my radio show on Fridays at 4.
Yay.
She's going to be every Friday. I'm so excited.
I know.
So
well,
excited.
that's a good way to close out the week. On Friday afternoons for sure.
I love talking to her. She's so insightful and thoughtful, and she's always focused on solutions, which I'm a cynic. So I need, she's a great juxtaposition to me, because I'm always very cynical and negative. And then she's like, but let's talk about solutions. And I'm like, I love you. I need that. I need somebody like that. So she's the great polar opposite of me.
And she's also really well sourced. I mean,
yeah.
She's smart. Well resourced on top of it. Yeah. I mean, look, in that community, she's been in it for a little while, and she's kind of had to go through the ringer, and she needs people to rally around her. We're there for her, and we need more people. Again, anybody who's a fan, a supporter of Tara, go give her a follow on the Rokfin channel. Go give her a subscribe on her Substack. She's got Patreon now as well. By all means, go to linktr.ee/Tara Reid with an E at the end, and by all means support our sister, and she can use everybody's help while she's getting herself going. And again, we're just so happy that to help her and to be able to help her. RT, the sanctions effectively ended her business with RT, and here she is trying to figure this out, and she has to figure out how do I podcast, how do I stream. All this stuff was done for her, so we're putting a team together so that she can keep doing what she's doing and grow. And she's already done some amazing interviews. I'm sure there will be a stream with Misty coming up in the near future on her channel.
There better be.
Well, Tara, yeah, we better make that happen. But I know that
Tara.
she had one with Fiorella, and she's had one with Lee Camp and Caleb Oppen. I think she's going through some of the RT friends. Rachel Blevins, I think, is on the docket. But I know this week tomorrow she's got one with Ruben. I can't remember his name, but he's like a UFO extraterrestrial guy. Really interesting cat. Really well known. And then so she's working on podcasts on Friday, live streams on Tuesday. So many different things are happening. And again, we've got to get you on. Again, I'm so happy to finally have you on Friends of Indie Left. So again, thank you for coming on. This is, everybody can see on there, Friends of Indie Left. And so we've got Action for Assange, bitch, TNT Radio. So how did so Jesse was doing TNT Radio. How did that happen?
Okay, so Rick Munn, who is a fantastic dude. He's Irish and he has the best accent. Sleepy Josh and I just like swoon over his voice all the time. He has the best voice. But he's this just really awesome guy who started making videos around the start of COVID. He, was an early skeptic and just started making these videos or whatever, just kind of questioning the narratives. Just started that way. It was just like making these kind of, like he calls them, these weird, creepy videos, like in the middle of the night in his car, you know what I mean? And people really started to catch on because he's he is really, really, really smart, very insightful. He really gets it. At some point at the beginning of before TNT started, somebody had reached out to him and said, hey, we're going to do this radio show. We want you to be on it. And Rick was like, yeah, okay, sure, whatever. And then they actually did start the radio, the network, and Mike Ryan, who is the kind of our head honcho over at TNT, reached out to Rick Munn. Rick thought it was a joke at first, but it was legit. And so he gave Rick a show that's on super early in the morning here in the States. I don't remember what time exactly, but it's really early. When I used to be on his show, I think I would be on from like 5 to 6 a.m. or something like that. Super brutal. But he had his own show. And then Mike was, searching around trying to find other hosts, and Rick had been on Facts on the Ground. He was part of that power panel that we just talked about, the COVID panel.
Right.
He had been on our show. We were friends. Fast friends. Like the minute Jesse and I met him, we were all three of us were just fast friends. And so it started off, he had asked both of us to come on his show. We both made appearances. Jesse was doing every Monday on his show, and then Mike was looking for other hosts, and Rick suggested both of us. And then Mike listened to our stuff and then reached out to me and said that he really liked what I did and wanted to know if I wanted to do my own show, offered me 3 hours. I was a little hesitant because 3 hours is a lot. So I was a little hesitant, but I'm like, fuck it, we're gonna give it a go. That's just really how it started, and I've been doing it ever since. It was very quick. I had the offer, and like 4 days later was my first show.
And what did they like give you as far as support for your show? Other than they give you a platform, right? And so do you like just dial in and you have your guest dial into a Zoom basically? And
yeah, they use I think it's called Comrex or something like that. But my producer just sends me a link every day, and I just I have a producer. They deal with connecting my guests and all of that stuff, checking their audio. So all I have to do is just sign in every day, and then just do the show. There's one person who has been helping me. She's helped me a few times with booking some guests, not a lot, not as much as I need, honestly. Especially, I think I'll be okay. Like getting through DC, I think was huge. Like that was very overwhelming trying to do all of that and book guests and prepare and all of that stuff. So now I think as I kind of get out of that and like moving into next week, I think it'll be a little bit easier, a little bit less stressful. But booking 15 people a week is really hard.
Yeah, it is.
I'm not complaining. I'm very lucky to have the job that I have. I'm very lucky to do what I do, but it is very overwhelming to try to find 15 different people to fill 15 different time slots, and you have to deal with different time zones and making sure that you are, communicating properly with the people in different time zones, which time that they're on, and then you have to, it's a lot. So that's been you've been unbelievably helpful. I cannot tell you how grateful I am to you for all of the help that you've given me in booking over the last couple of weeks. Because it has been super overwhelming just with trying to finalize DC and then get through DC and all of that stuff. But yeah, it's still good. It's a good kind of stress, I guess. I would really like to start getting booked out a little bit in advance, so I'm not scrambling I don't feel like I'm scrambling last minute. Because that's really, when it's like the day before and you don't have somebody for a time slot and you're like, oh my God, I'm not going to get anybody, which isn't a huge deal. If I don't find somebody, they've told me we can just do a replay. Like, it's not that big of a deal. We'd like you to fill your spots, but we can always just replay a show, but I don't want to do that. You know what I mean? Like I would like to be able to fill all my spots and have conversations with people. So, it's stressful, but it's a lot of fun. I'm getting to talk to some really cool people, which is super amazing. It's awesome. It's a lot of fun. I really like it.
And can you like do the hour yourself if you wanted to just say, you know what, I'm just gonna not have a guest for this hour and I'm just gonna talk and share my stuff and basically I'll be the guest?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I can if I want to. I don't know if I could do. I mean, I'm sure I could. I could talk about Julie. I will say that like the second day, I had Jimmy Dore came on my show like the second day. Super generous of him.
Shout out Jimmy Dore. Thank you, Jimmy Dore.
Yeah. Yes,
you're not just to blame for Misty. You're also a big supporter, and we love you for it. Thank you.
No, he is. He takes a lot of shit. I will tell you that he is one of the nicest people in real life. Like he is very generous, very kind, very friendly. He's a very nice guy. So yeah, but he came on, but I had screwed up the time zones as we were just talking about. I screwed up time zones. He's Pacific time. I'm Eastern. I said 3 p.m. He thought that meant his time. And it wasn't, and so he was like, okay, I can still come on, but I can only do 30 minutes. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. So I had to fill 30 minutes myself. And I just talked about Julian Assange.
Yeah,
I mean, I could do that forever, so it was fine. I mean, it was fine, but yeah, it was a little bit stressful because screwed up the time zones, but yeah, we worked it out. It was cool.
That's really cool. Again, it's really cool that he came on to be supportive. Again, you're going to see him. You said tomorrow in Columbus he's going to be out there? That's awesome. He's
at the Funny Bone tomorrow, so I'll text him tomorrow and then head up to the show. I'm going to leave right after my radio show wraps because the show starts at 7:30. So I'm going to, as soon as like 6 o'clock, my mom knows she has to be here to watch my kids. As soon as I get off the air, I'm getting out of this chair and we're leaving.
Well, Funny Bone single tickets better be available or Jimmy's going to rip your shit. Let's just tell you right now. Yes, we are fans and we do watch and we do listen. So, man, did he go off on those dudes at the Improv in Houston last week? Holy shit.
Like 45 minutes. That was great.
I was listening to that on the podcast. Now, I don't normally watch the live streams. I usually listen to the podcast afterwards, and I listen at 1.5 times speed. And if you listen to him flip out at 1.5 times speed for that whole thing, he was just, it was just like, okay, enough about the single tickets, dude. I get it. Yeah, they're gonna fix the thing. Yeah, we get it.
It was so funny though.
Oh, it ruined.
Like I was listening to it as I was getting ready for my show. So I was up in my bathroom. I just got out of the shower. I was listening, drying my hair or whatever. My husband comes in. He was going to get ready for work. And he was like, what the hell's he pissed off about? I'm like, I don't know. Single tickets.
Improv, Houston, new kid, somebody's nephew. I don't know.
It was great.
I was dying. Yeah. He has some world-class freakouts. That was a good one for sure.
Yeah, it was good.
So let's see. We got boosting Robbie Yeager, and that was one of the things where you and I first started connecting. I think was last year. You were doing something for Earth Day, and you were like, hey, I noticed that you had been an amazing champion for Robbie and his research and his work with regard to the Colonial Pipeline spill. And again, I can't give enough shout out and props to this man for all that he does and all that he puts in. He's also part of the autism community. He's a dad. Yes. He's a full-time employee. He is an impeccable researcher who follows the money. Does he really? Just, wow. Amazing, amazing dude.
A kid. Yeah.
And he figured out what was going on with this pipeline and just has stayed on it. Now, I haven't seen any reports on it in a while. Every time there's a new ruling or a new thing where they try to kick the can down the road, there's Robbie again to report on what's happening for sure. But it was Earth Day last year. I think it was about this time last year where you said, I'm looking to get some graphics done to support Robbie's work on the Colonial Pipeline. Now, I don't know if people know about what's going on here. I'm like, sure, send me some stuff. So you sent me a PowerPoint or he sent me something and I started making some graphics on Canva and we just started working together and doing some stuff. And I'm like, and that's where things really started to kick off. And that's where I started to gain some real appreciation for working closely with you. Mindy Moneybags, by the way, I see your money bags behind you on the floor. Love it. And again, so it just evolved. And so we're on the Assange vigil together, and I just can't stop watching Facts and can't stop watching. And then Bitch comes out, and now here I am on the damn show. Are you kidding? Come on. So it's just been again, I can't even believe I'm sitting here talking to you half the time, and I know you kind of feel the same way. And like I said, breathe Indy, just like you say, breathe Winston. And I crack up because I was on right after that Vanessa Beeley interview. I won't forget that. All right. So
when you were on TNT?
That's right.
That's a tough act to follow.
It wasn't. And then who follows me? Who jumps in chat? Alex Rubenstein. Oh, there's another shout out. Oh my God.
That's right. Oh,
another
brutal
genius.
Dude. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah. Well, again, I got to like be in between two people that I adore, that I cover, that I respect, that I admire, and then talk to another one who I adore, respect, and cover and admire. So it was a pretty much of a kick-ass banner day for me, for sure.
I'm doing that to Warren tomorrow. Do you want to hear? So tomorrow at 3, it's Dr. Piers Robinson.
Oof.
And then at 4, it's Jason Burmis. And then at 5, it's Uncle Warren.
Oh, I wonder if there's going to be some name dropping.
No pressure, Warren.
At Jason Burmis's stream. Does he name drop at all? Like, that guy drops so many names in a half an hour. He talks about Jones and this one and that. He gets into a whole thing about this one with that. I don't even know what he's talking about half the time. Like, I love that dude. He's hilarious. What a character. And really knowledgeable, but sniffs out the crap for sure. So wow, you got Burmis, Warren, Reef was saying that he's available for Wednesday if you still need somebody for Wednesday at 4.
Let me see. This is
I don't know, you were telling me early.
Meeting.
Lady Alexander's lonely on Rokfin. I know Cy Lawson's over there. Everybody should have gotten over to Rokfin. I did want to ask.
Wednesday at 4, Reef, Wednesday at 4, homie. I need you a Wednesday at 4. And then I have Friday at 5 open, but I think Nick's gonna do Friday at 5 because I need a rant session with Nick from RBN. So
nice.
See if I can get him to do 5. But Reef, if you're available at 4 on Wednesday, let me know and I'll put you in the schedule. Because he said he was gonna do his own stream at 4:20. So I wasn't sure if he and Kathy Bogan. I was gonna have him come on at 3. But Kathy Vogan, that's the Assange date, the court date, and Kathy Vogan from Consortium News is going to come on at 3, and she has to come on at 3 because they work overnight, and so that's like 5 a.m. her time. That's like her bedtime. So she's going to come on and then go to bed. But yeah, I can't switch Kathy Vogan. So come on at 4, Reef. That's great. If not, I'll find somebody else. Don't worry about it. And
it's going to be an open stream for Reef's 420 stream. He's like,
I'll be on air.
He's like, he was gonna offer for you guys to attend also, because it's gonna basically be. I think he's gonna start at 4, just let it run until however long it's gonna go. That's what we're talking about.
If he's still on air at 6 when I get off,
and doing a stream, he's gonna send everybody an open StreamYard, and whoever wants to come in basically is gonna be able to. I think that's how we're gonna do it. And he said he's got all the graphics and everything ready for that.
Cool.
Oh, look at this! I'll
come get high with you guys after I get off work, for sure.
So that's going to be, but he's like, I was going to invite all the Assange people, but based on what's happening on 420, I don't know what kind of mood they're going to be in. Maybe they're going to want to chill out and relax.
If we're being honest though, this is going to be like a 10 or 15 minute court hearing. It's not going to be that extensive. We already know what's going to happen. They're just going to sign off on the extradition request, and then it gets sent off to UK Home Secretary Priti Patel. So this isn't like, we're not going to get any like earth-shattering news or it's just like a part of the process.
The formality, right?
I mean, I'm not going to be in any worse of a mood than I am usually.
And then there'll be like another. I think it's until May 18th that the defense has to file another appeal against that for extradition.
No, it's not an appeal. They have until the 18th. They have that's their deadline. They can submit documents to Priti Patel, just in an effort to kind of persuade her to deny the extradition. So they can use the mental health aspect. They can kind of appeal to her on the free speech aspect. All of that stuff. None of it will matter. She's going to sign off on it. It's almost for sure. She'll rubber stamp it. But this is they got to make it look like they're doing due process here. So they have until May 18th to do that. And then I honestly don't know how long we have. I don't think that there's any like a set time limit or anything that she has to make a decision. But then there's a multitude of different ways that it could go from there. But yeah, she's going to sign off on it.
Yeah, it's beyond. I don't even know where to go with it. That they're just trying to drag this whole thing out for as long as. Yeah,
they're trying to kill him.
Yes, they are. Well, they are killing him. It's unfortunately, and again, there's a lot of stuff that I don't want to get into on this one, but We'll talk about that in the next vigil. I just ranted about it for like 2 hours. I want to go on the next vigil, a next vigil coming up soon.
There will be one.
Yeah, I'm sure there will be another one, and usually I know that you're looking for guests for that sometimes too. Especially again, if you've got a story related to Julian Assange that hasn't been told, if you've got, we love hearing about that, and that's what the vigil's about. It's catharsis. I mean, the last time I was on with you and with who's your co-host now? I can't think of his Eric, right? Eric's awesome.
Yeah.
I was thinking of his Twitter handle, which isn't Eric, but it's different.
Coy Contrarian.
Yeah, Coy. That's what I was thinking of. It was Coy because he's the Duke brother from Vance and Coy. I don't know. I make weird connections. Anyway, so Coy Contrarian, Eric. Again, we had an amazing 2.5 hours on there, and we started asking some of the questions that I think people have not really been asking about. I learned about parts of the case that I hadn't really learned about, and there are so many different aspects to it, and it's been going on for so long, and there are so many parts that have been buried. And I think last time it was right about the time that it was the anniversary of Collateral Murder had been played. No, was that last week?
That was April 5th.
That was April 5th. It was, I think it was the week before that I got on one of the shows with you, and so we were talking about that. And there's always some kind of an anniversary coming up of something, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Well, there's a shit ton of releases too. So there's always like, oh, it's the anniversary of Cablegate, or it's the whatever. So yeah, there's always something.
Exactly, for sure. And again, I just the people who are there to keep that alive and in the public eye, that are doing it because this is, it's the right thing to do, and because we're desperate to see him freed, and to try to get as much grassroots.
Well, I just do it to grift.
Well, yeah, we know we do it for the money, all of us, right?
Totally.
For the GoFundMe that pays.
How do you think I fill those money bags?
Right, for the rolling billboards across DC. Okay, that's what the GoFundMe's pay for. Everybody, you saw those things rolling across DC. You saw that, like
the truck,
the Airbnb that the Lyft guy wouldn't even go to at night.
I still can't believe that's a real thing that happened. That's a real thing that happened, though. Our Airbnb was in such a terrible neighborhood. The delivery driver was like, "Nope. Not coming there."
When my kids get old enough. When my kids get old enough.
I even tried to bribe him.
I'll be able to make
I tried to bribe. I said, "Can I just bribe you?" And he's like, "No, sorry."
Wow. That's a bad neighborhood. You should have called Colin, because Colin will get you there.
I know, or Franco. Franco's in DC. Well, outside
Franco
of DC,
too. I mean, Franco's outside.
Our friend
DC.
Christine lives there too. She lives in DC as well, or in the DC area. She always comes and stays at our Airbnb with us because it's easier. But yeah, we've got a couple like local friends in the DC area. But it was just funny.
Oh my God.
Mindy Moneybags knows how to vacation, you guys.
Yeah.
I know how to vacation.
Yeah, next time. Now, what were the reviews on the place? That's my wife. She's like big into. What were the reviews? What did people say about the place? What were the reviews?
Honestly, the review, and seriously, it wasn't that like nobody bothered us. When we first got there, I got there on Friday. Friday night, the neighborhood was loud. Like there was like a full on party. There was like an apartment complex and then like a cul-de-sac. And there was probably like 100 people out there partying.
Wow.
And so it was loud that night, but then Saturday night was very quiet. It did rain on Saturday. So, I mean, that's probably why, but it was very quiet, but nobody bothered us. When we saw people, in the morning and in the afternoon, when we were like loading and unloading our crap, people would walk by and say good morning or whatever. Like it was fine. The Airbnb was really nice. It was renovated. The beds were really comfortable. The reviews had all said, like when I got the place, it was very cheap. That's why I got it, because I wanted to push our money as far as we could take it. Sure. So that's why I got it. And I read the reviews because I was like, oh man, Southeast DC, like everybody always warns you don't stay in Southeast DC. And in fact, that Friday when I got there, I was on Rachel Blevins' Rokfin show. She interviewed me and she was like, so where are you guys staying? And I said, well, we're in a really terrible neighborhood. And she's like, are you in Southeast DC? And I'm like, yeah. And she literally, like, her face went kind of gray and she was like, be careful out there. Oh shit. Okay. All right. So yeah, I mean, it was not a great neighborhood, but I mean, it was very, very cheap. And that's why we went there and nobody bothered us. We were fine. So yeah.
Shout out to my brother Colin. That makes me think of the Dave Chappelle bit. That's a rough city, man. That's a rough city. DC, that's a rough city. He's got the limo driver. That's hilarious.
That was my first indication that it might be a little bit worse than I thought. When Rachel, I mean, she really looked concerned for my safety.
Wow.
Please be safe out there.
Well,
like,
well,
okay.
you did have Trey and Glory that would be there to protect you, because I think they were staying at the house too, right?
Trey was Trey didn't show up until till Saturday, I think. Glory was there. I think Glory got there. Was it Friday night? I think she did get there. Yeah, she got there Friday after I wrapped my show. Because I did my show Friday from DC. She got there Friday night. When I first got there, it was just me, Kimber, and Beth. We were the first three there. So yeah, it was, and then that night, Friday night, it was just me, Kimber, Beth, and Glory all in the house. So it was 4 chicks in a house in Southeast DC.
Oh my God. Yeah, but they wouldn't want to mess with that house. I can tell you right now.
No.
Which Beth is this? Is this Blue Check Beth? Is this?
No. She's Beth B, I think, on Twitter. I think it's her. I don't know what her Twitter handle is.
I know.
She's
I follow
she's a long time Assange activist.
Yep.
She's kind of quiet, very behind the scenes.
That's awesome. Well, shout out to all the activists that are in the field, that actually go out there and do the protests and organize, and don't just stream like I do, and don't just sit at a microphone, but actually get out there like you do and bring people out and stand there with signs and yell at Merrick Garland's house from his driveway.
It's fun.
I enjoy watching all of it and covering all of it and amplifying all of it and sharing all of it and trying to get the word out so that other people know this, do this, participate, and we just grow this whole movement. And it's been really hard the last couple of years to do that, especially with our narrative suppression. So again, it's just been going, again, mutual aid. It's going to your neighbor and talking about this stuff. And it's hard to talk about politics, but it's like, hey, guy, do you know that there's 15 companies that basically own everything that you're watching? And I sound like a crazy person all the time, and they tell me I need decaf and that I sound like a conspiracy lunatic, but
imagine trying to talk the Assange case to people.
Right. Well, I don't even go there. I start with like the obvious stuff, which is that everything is.
I'll talk to anybody. I don't care.
I know, but
my hair guy, Ethan. Shout out to Ethan.
That's right. But everything is narrative controlled, first of all, and that's why you can't talk about Assange. That's why you can't talk about war. That's why you can't talk about Big Pharma and COV' whatever thing. And I love that. What's his name? Franco used to call it. He used to separate the word man and then dates. So that's how he used to do that in his YouTube titles. And every time I'd see it, I'd be like, oh, he's definitely like picking up a different kind of crowd when he's doing that. For sure. JB Font and his friends would definitely be down with the mandates. Yes. Those kind of mandates, at least. Not those kind of mandates.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, all right. So hopes and aspirations for 2022 beyond, other than obviously free Julian Assange, that goes without saying. But what else? Yeah. What else do we want to see out of it? What do you want to see? What do you want to accomplish? What do you want to help people do? What do you want to do? And how can we all help you do that? Because that's what I'm all about, is helping people get where they want to go.
I mean, I honestly have no idea what I want to do. I would love to see for other people as just breaking free of the narrative control that's going on. And I would love to see people stop instantly demonizing those of us who question things. It's okay to ask questions. It's necessary to ask questions. Stop believing everything that you're force fed unquestioningly. You need to ask questions. I don't know why we get so much crap for being skeptical of known liars. It's very strange to me. So I would love to see more people break away from that. I think that we have seen a lot of it. It's been kind of encouraging over the past couple of years, especially seeing a lot of people kind of realize like, oh, okay, this is what's going on. And there's been, I mean, and I think that Ukraine is doing a lot of that too for people. But we need more of that. We need more people to break away from the electoral system. I would love to see that stop pretending like we can vote our way out of this. We cannot. I'm not saying that you shouldn't go vote. I'll go vote. I mean, if Dave Smith runs in the Libertarian Party, maybe I'll vote for Dave Smith. I don't know. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't take me very long in Ohio to vote. It literally is like I drive there, I get out, I walk in, I vote, I walk out, I drive home. It's that fast. So I have no problem with people who want to go vote, but don't pretend like it's going to be any change maker. It's not. The system is broken. So, I mean, I would love to see more people start organizing outside the system, start creating those parallel societies, start participating more in mutual aid, start doing more direct actions. We need that. Like that's the only way we're going to be able to really effectively fight back against the empire. And we're going to have to do that together. And that means having conversations with people that you don't like. That's okay. I had a conversation today with Clint Russell from Liberty Lockdown. He's a libertarian. We disagree on a lot of things. Guess what? We had an hour-long conversation that was totally civil. We talked about things that we agreed about. We totally acknowledge that we have disagreements, but where we agree, we feel like we should work together. And I think that that's we need more of that. So I'm not really worried about myself necessarily, things that you guys can do to help me. I'm not really worried about that. Do what you can to help Julian Assange, and do what you can to help people kind of make that transition away from the current system that we're in. Yeah.
Thank you. Well, that, and again, selfless, and it's never about Misty, but that's not true,
It's
Misty.
not.
Well, but sometimes it needs to be, and again, you're doing a lot, and you remind me occasionally, like I do a lot, but sometimes you got to let people help you too, and share, and so that's one of the things that we can do is share facts on the ground, subscribe to all the Misty stuff, support all of her projects that she's on, download the Podbean app, which is where you can actually subscribe to TNT Radio, and you can listen to all of Misty's old clips and old hour-long interviews. So you can listen to Reef on there, and Warren's on there. I see some of the people that are out in chat. My couple of interviews with Misty are on there. And tell more
Rob's
people about Misty, and tell them that whatever they've heard about her, don't believe it, and to form their own opinion for sure, because I think there's a lot of people that have form their own opinion that are saying things out there that just look. My experience has been nothing short of amazing, and I've
I'm not for everybody. That's okay.
Well, yeah, you kind of Well, I'm okay again, I have met fewer, honestly, more selfless people in this world, in this space, that has been willing to just drop. Where do you want me to go? Is it a protest for Medicare for all? Okay. Is it to support a father who lost his son because he overdosed and is now trying to fight the insurance companies and make sure that we've got a system that will never do that over a $20 bill again? Again, is it for organizing for people for Julian Assange? I mean, think about all these different things and all these amazing people that we involved with. I know you're interviewing Afeni, and she did a whole thing with the Howard University protest and the living conditions that were happening there. And again, all we can do to amplify all these different struggles and injustices and wrongs so that we can try to right them. Everybody deserves to have like a decent life, and it's really hard in this world right now. So people who are calling that out, that are helping the people that are, that are struggling, but again, people who have the time, that are willing to lend a hand and make the time for those that are struggling. Again, I see you doing it, and that's why I can't say thank you, and amplify what you're doing enough, and get on board, and whatever I can do, I'm always there.
Yes, I do.
And I know you're there too. Again, it's just like one of the people who I know, when I was writing up my list of who are going to be my first 10 guests, you were definitely on that list. So I'm, again, just so happy to have you here and to have this conversation. I definitely learned some things about you that I didn't know before. Some of the again, I talked about a lot of things that you've already been involved with, and all of your current projects which are on there, other than the Free the Truth, which we're going to figure out when that's back. And stay tuned to Misty's channels for that, and follow her on Twitter. She'll let you know. Anything else? Any other like events that you're going to be doing? I know you just finished one, so it's like, gotta take a breath for one.
Well,
for
March
a
for
minute,
Medicare
woman,
for All is apparently March Medicare for All is apparently going to do an event in July 30th in DC.
Yes.
So I talked to Ricky Rance on Twitter. He was on my show the other day, and I think I'm going to try to schedule something around that date as well. Either so their events on Saturday, I may try to do either Friday or Sunday for Julian Assange.
Awesome.
So I feel like because I am a huge believer in like cross collaborating across causes. Like when we did this past event, we did it with In the Damn Wars. So I love doing that and being able to kind of build coalitions across causes, because so many of these things are interconnected. So I think we're going to try to make something happen in July for that. I'm not sure yet. I haven't even begun looking into that yet. I'll probably start doing that next week, but that's the goal as of right now.
Awesome.
So I'll probably start crowdfunding and all that good stuff here pretty soon. I got a grift for my vacation again. Damn it. First of all, the idea that anybody wants to go on vacation in Washington DC is
and how do you do your radio show from the road? You just dial in, or they do best ofs and they do replays?
No, I just dialed in.
Nice.
It's very easy. It's just, it's like just hop on a Skype call and they send me a link, and then it's like, I think it's called Comrex or something. I don't know what it is.
Oh, that's cool.
But it's very simple.
Remote.
I just take my microphone and my laptop and I'm good to go.
Oh, that's badass. You just need a quiet place to stream from, right?
Plus they're very cool about giving me the days off, like when our event was on a Monday, this past Monday. And so they gave me the day. They're like, just take the day off, and I'm like, all right. So they just played. I don't know what they did actually. I don't know if they got a fill-in host or if they played replays, because I was in the streets of DC, so I didn't listen.
And is it possible to do the radio show, like have somebody in your house studio, whatever? I don't know if you ever are close.
I just did that on Friday. The Friday when I was in DC, Beth, who we just talked about, came on and talked about the In the Damn Wars protest.
Oh, that's so cool.
So she was sitting right beside me, and we just streamed from the little bedroom at the Airbnb.
Like a real radio show and shit.
Yeah. It was fun.
It's great.
It was interesting to be in the same room as somebody that I'm interviewing. That doesn't happen very often.
Right.
So that was fun.
Yeah, because again, you've been doing vigils and you've been doing basically Zoom streaming for 3 years, right? Not a lot of face-to-face
I've been
stuff.
we've done other events where we've all been in the same room. We've done vigils from the couch at the Airbnb, where it's been me and Steve and Glory and Fee and Pasta and Nico, and we've all been in the same room together.
I remember that.
We've done that a few times.
There might have been Steve getting so high that he fell off the couch that night. That was one of the funniest streams I think I've ever seen. Was you guys all hanging out in the vigil house that night? That was I think around St. Patrick's Day last year, and
that was for Clovers.
And Pasta's talking smack, and Feast sitting in the middle puffing, and Steve's just getting more incoherent, and his eyes are getting tighter and tighter as the night kind of goes. You guys are just.
That was one of the funnest.
You're literally
Clovers
a comedy
was one of
tour.
the funnest trips. One of the best actions that we've done. It was just the energy was good. There was we got to meet a lot of really cool people. The ladies from Roar Media were there. I got to meet Eric Coy Contrarian. That's the first I met him in person there. So there was we got to meet a lot of really cool people. And it was just good vibes. It was just really good vibes that whole time. That was probably one of my favorite trips, I think, that we've done.
Yeah, again, I follow all of it, and I live vicariously through all of you, and I can't appreciate enough somebody at least try keeping this alive, going out there together, organizing, getting people together, and having fun while doing it at the same time in a subject that's really, really tough. And again, I'm tapped. It's late. I know you've been on air for way too long today, and I'm not gonna hold you any longer today. I just thank you for everything you do, and for being here, and for your time today, and for your time all the time. And I love you, and I adore you, and and we're gonna do this again at some point, and I'll be on more bitches and vigils, and we'll do more INN news, and maybe you'll come on and do a guest. How do we miss that? And we'll do a show for that. I'm starting to do some guest stuff there, and not just me and Reef, but as Reef does more shows with INN news and other stuff, I gotta find a more, I want to rotate some other people and see what that's like, and see if there's other chemistry there. And so far I've had a couple. Noli D, shout out to Noli, by the way. Noli's amazing activist. She was in Phoenix. She was talking about a thing today, actually, that's something I wanted to talk to you about. She was mentioning a story about how there's a backlog of more than a year of police like abuse cases, and these guys are like unreported or unresolved cases of police abuse. They're just sitting there for more than a year. They just continue to work, and she's out there calling light to that. And I adore that woman so much. She's great. And again, we have so many great people in our space, and you're one of them. So again, thank you for being here. Go. Yeah,
thanks for having me.
Chill out. It's late, and actually, again, you've been streaming since 3:00, so go relax.
Yeah, pretty much.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Misty.
Yeah, thanks for the chats. We love you.
Yeah, the chat got really weird, by the way. Chat got really weird. It got really graphic and sexual. I haven't been watching. I'm really bad about Nicole and Warren are really going at it pretty hard. I don't even know what that's about.
Warren.
Shadowban Refugee. Orale! He's here. What's going on, buddy? Again, we got a nice chat, a nice group of people. Cy Lawson, how are you, buddy? Good to see you. Variant. And Radical Leftist Agenda, hi Nikki, and Les Bones, everyone. We're going to go see Ron Flacone a week from tonight, so that's really exciting. We're actually going to have our first INN field trip, so yay for that. And so everybody stay tuned. Reef and I think, are going to do an INN news tomorrow night on Indie News Network. I was going to do How Do We Miss That last night, and then we decided not to do one for Easter, but I did curate 4 stories, so it's perfect for INN News, so we're probably going to do that tomorrow. And then we got Warren on Thursday night. I see he's already scheduled to stream, and Reef's got Reefer After Dark Friday night, but not this week because Wednesday he's doing the 420 stream. So starting at 4:00-ish, I think he's going to start live, and we'll turn the cameras on at 4:20 and see who's there, and I don't know what the hell's going to happen. So that'll be a good time. And then Sundays, How Do We Miss That?
I'll come by when I get off air. I'll come by when I'm off air.
I'm sure he'll send you a StreamYard link. So you're always welcome at any stream we're at.
Do it, Reef.
Yeah, do it. Do it now. Okay, I'm going to cut the stream. Reef. Thank you, everybody. Right. Have a good night.
Bye,
good
guys.
night, Misty. We'll see you soon.
Good night.
Bye.
See ya.
Listen to what little birds tell you, as Reef likes to say.